Hola, hola. I'm Emmanuel Rivera. I'm from the Mexican Scientific Authority. I'm going to tell you something about the ZeroStep. That's a proposal for helping you know where you're at and where you want to go to when you're making NDFs in two key elements, the population information and harvest impact. It will be like your GPS when you're making NDFs. And let's say it evaluates the amount of information that you have in this moment. For example, let's say that you have only anecdotal knowledge about the species presence. You know the basic biology because of what is published in papers somewhere else. Therefore, you will be only allowed to make some basic risk assessment, and you will rely on an expert opinion to set a harvest rate. And this expert opinion will be variable because they are not based on raw data. Some can tell you can take 10%, 15%, 12%. But there will be low confidence when you are making those NDFs. There are tools that can help you with that. For example, a simple NDF template that measures several variables that are around population size. They are population size proxies. For example, if you measure the harvest and it's a high harvest pressure on the species, you'll be thinking that the population size number will be low. If the species range, for example, is constraining, then you'll be thinking that the population size will be shrinking also. There are other tools like this that measure the amount of risk that you have when you're making the NDFs, like the tools that came out from the International Expert Workshop in Cancun 2008, or the ENDF is a low or high risk assessment. The output of an ENDF, for example, is a gradient from not recommended to recommended. So there's one key element that you have to have in mind when you use these tools is that if, for example, you authorize one harvest rate this year, the effect of that harvest rate is going to be in the population, but it will be not showing in the variables if you take this NDF template the next year. For example, they will not impacting from one year to another on life history or on the IUCN assessments or even on the area of occupancy of the species. Therefore, once you authorize one harvest rate with these tools, you will be asking the next year to have some information, even for the harvested population. You can make the trader to help you with that and measure some individuals, take sexes, weight, the basic information that you need to jump from this gray area to another level of information where you have field surveys on key parameters. Then you know something about the abundance. You can make some static life tables, distribution models, and apply some pure data methodology to set a conservative rate and a no impact on the population. Once you have the key parameters and a few idea of how is it on the population that you are taking out, you can start thinking about building up a standardized monitoring program on that variable. Therefore, you will have more density trends and more data to make some stock assessments or maximum sustainable yield analysis to have a precise reference point. Therefore, your impact on the population will be well established, and you will have high confidence when you're making NDFs. The proposal in this workshop is that when you're at this level of information, go for a complex NDF and start measuring all these variables in a risk assessment regime. But if you see, all these blue ones are the same that we were using when we were making risk assessments. Therefore, we suggest that if you have this amount of data, please use it and go for population size number itself, because everything else will be relying on it. The threats, the harvest, the trade history that this population have will be reflecting on population size number. And this number, you can contrast it with another, the next step about it will be setting the harvest rate. And you can have a harvest rate by taking reference values elsewhere out there that are published, or make a Bayesian model if you have enough data, or making empirical trials. For example, if you have a certain amount, certain harvest rate, likely 10 years for now to this species, and this species is in good shape right now, maybe that harvest rate is secure, and you will be contrasting this harvest rate to the export request that you have right now. And it will be allowing you to make a positive conditioned NDF or negative NDF. Of course, this will be adaptive management with this. Once you get your NDF done, you will be revisiting the next year or the next time you will be asked for an NDF on that population. Plus other considerations. What are the considerations? For example, you can set a harvest rate focus on one certain part of the population, like females, males, juveniles, adults. It depends on what species you are dealing with, or what situation do you have. For example, if there are threats that will be recovering a high amount of importance in your analysis, mining a section in industry in the middle of the distribution range of the species will be like a threat that will be have to take in consideration after you contrast the key elements of the NDF, the population size and the harvest rate. Once you have that, you will be having a strong NDFs based in the best information that you have. So I hope that this guide will serve you not only to set where are you at right now, but where you want to be. And this is very important because it will help you to transcend to one level of information to another, not losing the sight of where you want to be at. Let's hope that it will help the discussions in this workshop. See you later.